welcome. We're out and about. We find ourselves today at an amazing business with the co-owner of it, Image Makeover. The name's Grace. Well, thank you so much for your time, Grace.
Thank you. I'm so happy that you guys are here.
You've been involved with Cityline. Now, what happens is you've done over 2,000 makeovers. You've been involved with them for over 20 years. You've had some celebrities coming here, Meat Loaf, Jamie Foxx, and the list goes on. But I want to take you back to prior to you owning this business. I think it was '89 that you bought it. Take you back to when you were in school.
When I was quite young, I started doing makeovers in the cafeteria at school. I had a little business that I would sell makeup, and there was a lineup for it because I would try to see, I always saw beauty in people and I would try to enhance it. So I had a little bit of a following at school.
You even missed an awful lot of meals, apparently.
Yeah, I was such lineups that I couldn't really even get to eat food, right? So it was a love from the very beginning.
Well, now you're representative of Revlon. You're traveling the world. I know you just came back from Paris. You go all over Canada in the way that you have have workshops and classes and everything. You're involved with judging competitions within the industry. I'd like you to just share some of the stories you have.
Well, this industry is quite vast. I mean, there's so many different ways that a young person that's coming up in there that, have their hairdressing license can go. You can work with a manufacturer, you could work in a salon, you could do platform work. It's endless, the amount of stuff. There's judging, there's working on movies, and so everybody wants to be more beautiful, more handsome, more sexy. So our job as beauty professionals is to bring that in wherever that we think that it's needed. And it's vast. The amount of places that you can take it is quite vast, right? Because image is everything, and everywhere we go, if somebody's trying to create an image or get in a certain niche, and your image is so important that they would come to us professionals and figure it out, right? I want to look like this. How do I achieve that? I want to do this, and So I love this industry for that, right? We can create a look and change that look as need be.
You've had makeovers for Meat Loaf. You've done makeovers for Jamie Foxx. Mm-hmm. You must have some stories of just not only those two individuals, but other celebrities.
Well, I found Jamie Foxx very protective of me. He was, I was trying to get some dreads dyed to add into his hair, and he was really concerned about his hair and so on. And his producer was like rushing the process, and he was like, no, she's got to do what she's got to do, and he was really cool. So I really liked him. Meat Loaf, I was there to kind of get him ready for an interview and so on, and I found him extremely kind and really caring about his skin, not that kind of hardcore rocker that we would see. He was very cool. He was like, hey, I use really great skin cream and stuff like that. I ran into Heidi Klum at Cityline, and she was really interested in talking about her children's hair and what the best way to, kind of look after it. And she waited for me after I got off camera to talk about it for a little bit. And I thought that was really nice. And her people that were with her were rushing her out. And she's like, no, I'm talking to Grace, right? So I've met some pretty cool people over the years. And, of course, Toronto has a lot of local celebrities as well. I was just at my client, Sue Ann Levy. She just finished a book called Underdog, right? And, I was, there to support them. Libby Zeimer just finished a documentary called How Cancer Saved My Life. And so, there's, the big celebrities, but there's also the smaller celebrities in the city that make a huge difference.
What I'd like you to share is, how you got involved with that Cityline.
Well, the producers at Cityline approached me at a Mirror Awards, award ceremony for hairdressers. And they approached me through Hugh Wilson, which was at the time, the general manager of Revlon Canada, professional. And they had asked him, who's that girl over there? Because I was talking with a bunch of people. I was telling some off-color joke about myself, which at the time I didn't think it needed that much laughter, but it did get it. So I got their attention, and they came over and gave me a half an hour interview without letting me know who they were. And then when they were finished, they said, "Do you know who we are?" And I said, "Nope, I don't." And I said, "But it was really nice talking to you. I have to go." And they said, "Well, we're really interested in you having you on Cityline. Are you interested in coming?" And I said, "Of course." And that was over 20 years ago. So I went on the show and I did makeup. Actually, I did that with Maurice Fiorio. I just did makeup for one of his models. And then the next time I came back, I did hair. And they said, "Okay, we're going to shorten the show by 2 minutes because we'd like to hear you speak." And so I spoke for a couple of minutes. They liked me and invited me back again. And within 6 months, I was an A-lister on the show. And so then I was continued to do that. Yeah.
Well, also you're involved with Revlon. I'd like you to talk about how you got involved with them.
Okay, so I got started with Revlon. Basically, I had a sales rep come into the salon and kept on asking me if I would be interested in teaching because I was doing really good colors and so on. And I was like, "No, I'm not, because I'm busy, right? And I can't think of taking time off to go and do that." And she goes, after a few months, she asked me, she said, "Would you consider going and at least talking to the general manager?" So I said, "Okay." So I went in and spoke with Hugh Wilson, and he asked me if I had a resume. And I said, "I don't have a resume. I'm here to see what you can do for me, not the other way around." And he basically said, "Well, you know, we can guarantee you that you're going to be the forefront of education. You're going to have at your fingertips chemists and you know, the latest trends and so on." And that's how it sold me. And so I got involved with them. Going on now, I would say 25 years ago with Revlon, I've been working. So I started off doing small shows, and then I became a platform artist for them. And I worked for 15 years doing platform artistry only all across Canada. And actually the world. I did that also in Washington and the States and New York and so on. And then about, I would say 8 years ago, they asked me to be a spokesperson. And so I've been doing the spokesperson stuff for about 8 years, which really involves me talking about it on television, talking about it on radio, on TV, in magazines and so on. Just get the name out there. I also will, when we launch a new product, I'll bring it on television and talk about what it is, how it works, and that kind of stuff. And also I do that within magazines as well. The other thing that happens with Revlon is that we have a competition called the Style Masters competition every year that we go all over the world, right? And every year it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And what's really nice about the Style Masters competition is that not only do you meet people that are so creative in their life all over the world, that they really bring it as far as the passion that they have for the industry. So when you're in that crowd, you feel quite pumped. That's where a lot of times you get your latest trends from. And although they're quite elaborate, you're able to take a look at them and redo them into everyday's life, right? Whether it's a way of coloring or the way of cutting, or maybe some giant braid in the hair, you just, you know, trickle it down for the consumer. So that's really great about that.
Yeah, what I'd like to know now is what direction do you see the Image Makeover salon going in?
Well, I really want to work with a company called Laser Is. They've kind of perfected weight loss. They've perfected losing any addictions that you have, like stop smoking. They have a 97% success rate when it comes to that. Anxiety. So all those things affect how you look and how you feel, and definitely how you feel about your beauty. So rather than doing that, I want to kind of nip it in the bud right there, right? And it's a part of who you are and how you look. So that's the next place for me to go.
Also, you're working on a book that you keep putting on the shelf and taking off the shelf.
Yeah, I've been working on this book for a little while. It's called "Look After Yourself Because Everyone Else Is Taken," and it's really about core beauty. It's about how do you care for yourself, both internally and out, and what people see, right? And because a lot of people, we're not taught this as young women, and we're not taught this as adults even. And so it's going to have little snippets about how to get through your life in a nice, dignified way and look and feel good about yourself.
And you have a website out there too, quickly?
Well, yeah, the website is Image Makeover. My Facebook is under Image Makeover, and my Instagram is under Grace Tartaglia.
On all this, you're going to have all the updates on there too?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. I'm gonna as soon as things go on, I'm gonna make sure that they're updated and put out in the world.
Well, I want to thank you for that, taking a few minutes with us.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you coming.